want something? It's a fair question. Why doesn't the guy just walk up to the girl and say, "You're stunning. Can I know you? Can I meet you? Can I take you out?" Which of course begs the question at Worland High School, why is it the case so often that a guy is into a girl, or a girl is into a guy, and the last thing they ever do is let the other one know? Of course, buried in this study of psychology, let's put it in our notes, is F-E-A-R, right? In other words, both parties are afraid. Oh no, what if I let the other person know I'm into that person and then they laugh at me or they make fun of me or something like that? Our feelings of insecurity sometimes maybe keep us from honesty. Of course, notice on page 84, it's all about hope and the ecstasy that surrounds hope in the mind's eye. All of the imaginations of what could happen and what could transpire. Finally, they do meet again. Only this time again, swallowing back the fear in the throat, we are on to page 85. A perverse reason can't explain it. Neither one of them will let the other one know that they even saw them at all. This is often the way of children, when they truly want a thing, to pretend that they don't. I've had freshmen in 3B that say, "This is amazing." It's as if somehow she has captured what it's like to be a middle schooler or a young high schooler. The very thing I want. Just read this amazing paragraph. This is often the way of children. When they truly want a thing, they pretend that they don't. And then they grow angry when no one tried harder to give them this thing that they so casually rejected, and they soon find themselves in a rage simply because they cannot say yes when they mean yes. Humans are very complicated. This is that line that we began with, right? And perhaps cats who have been known to react in the same way through the resulting rage can only be guessed at. Of course, this last line is the comedy section of our story, right? In other words, a little bit of comic relief. It's almost like reading the story can, for some readers, become a bit too personal, right? Finally, they sincerely hated each other without having ever exchanged even 2 minutes of conversation. Of course, they actually are into each other. And then finally, both of them go their separate ways. By the way, did you notice that really interesting simile comparison using like or as? He goes to get a job at a bookstore, and the girls linger around him like honeybees about a hive. It's a fascinating one. And then finally, the very last moment of the story, it's a nice touch, where they're both with their significant others, and they're in a movie in the line, and they look and they make eye contact. And of course, what will be the question that will forever kind of maybe stay in both of their minds? I wonder, what if? Let's do some quick, now level 2, level 3. At 2A, obvious messages, themes here. Love, like humans in general, very complicated. How you know when you have attraction and when you don't. Of course, this notion of whether you talk or you don't talk. Do you share or do you not share? And let's put it in our notes as well. The power of suffering and the power of fear. Both of these have a tendency to kind of keep us paralyzed. If we can ever overcome them, then we obviously could maybe be able to invest time, energy in significant others, in meeting other people. Why is meeting other people such a freaky thing? There are students who love to go to the mall because they love to look at other people, but they don't want to walk up to complete and total strangers and talk to them. Why or why not? Some students say, I have no problem doing that at all. Other students say, no, I'm totally freaked out by that idea. Finally, let's think about this one. Notice that at the beginning of the story, she is trapped in a situation she doesn't want to be in, but somehow it all works out. Notice she did move to Cincinnati, and she did find a way to make it. Students sometimes will believe when they're young that a move is catastrophic. I'll never recover. And of course, that's not true at all. You get on with your life. Of course, let's put it in our notes. It's a different life. At 2B, of course, point of view comes to mind. We have all kinds of interesting games that are being played with this omniscient point of view, right? She gives us just enough information for both of us so that, put it in your notes, as a reader, you can easily identify with the view of both of the two, boy and girl, right? Notice left out by this is what the parents think about all of this. They're kind of left out of this. This is really a story about the two. Of course, we could say as well, the title is an interesting title once you know the story. At 3A, we've already mentioned Romeo and Juliet. Of course, we could mention Pyramus Thisbe. There's any number of other stories about lovers. What is for you your favorite text? Where in the movie, the video game, the TV show, whatever, the guy and the girl are both into each other, but they never actually talk. It's always just an attraction with the eyes, back and forth, an exchange of the eyes, we might say. And then, of course, finally at 3B, This is an easy story for most freshmen to relate to. A time when you felt trapped by adults moving you or forcing you to do something you wanted against your will. A time that you were into somebody and you didn't tell that somebody. Instead, what you did is you just kind of left it alone. And finally, to what degree is it true that you, not humans, you are very complicated? Is that true? And how does a story like this help you to understand that complication? That notion of the relationship between suffering and fear and hope. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the story. Check out, we'll come back to take a look at the second story that we're paired with here in a bit. Thank you.